Leah Michele is here on the sofa with us now.
Hi.
Now, hilariously, you think you look really young in that clip.
I mean, it was many years ago.
How long ago was that?
I think that was about 2008 that I filmed that, or 2009. So it was quite a while ago. Yeah.
It is a while. You have what's the phrase? A big set of pipes. Is that what they say?
Yes, thank
Yes?
you. I really appreciate that.
Did you always have
great.
that? Did you always have that? Was that something did you just have a big voice naturally? Was that something you had?
I think it grew as I got older, but I started performing on Broadway when I was 8 years old, and I've been singing ever since, and it sort of has like grown, and I'm really proud of it.
Now, we saw you in Glee there, and we mentioned in the little run-in that Glee, I mean, that was a job and a half, wasn't it? You were singing day in, day out, singing at work all day.
Yep.
And your first album came out at that time, so you'd sing at work all day, sing at the weekends for your own album.
Isn't it crazy? It was really, I mean, I'm very proud of myself for being able to do both at the same time, but it was a really educating experience for me. I love my first record, but it is challenging, especially vocally, to be recording, 10 songs for Glee per week and then going over on the weekend. And it also was sort of, made it a little bit more difficult for me to understand who I truly was as a solo artist. So it was really important for me with making this new record that I took the time. Glee's finished. And especially vocally, now I feel much more prepared and put my all into this record and really was able to find out what my true sound is outside of Glee. And I think that I've done that with this record, so I'm very happy.
Well, shall we let people judge whether you found the new sound? We've got the single.
Really long. You've got to sing that tonight.
Yeah, I'm doing a concert tonight, so I'm excited.
In London?
In London, yeah.
And that is quite a song to get your head around, isn't it?
But that's really what I wanted to do with this record. I really wanted to show everyone what I could do. And I grew up, as you mentioned, listening to Barbra Streisand and Celine Dion, and those were the women that really inspired me. And I went back to my roots with this album and wanted to show everyone what my voice can do.
It's interesting you say that, if you're singing during the week with Glee and you're singing like Barbra Streisand songs, those women, Barbara, Celine Dion, are such big characters. Did you find that a little bit of them rubbed off onto you, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I grew up in New York. I grew up on Broadway. I feel like I have a very big personality. Some people might say I'm a little bit like Rachel Berry from Glee, but yeah, I mean, I'm really inspired by them and how they hold themselves. And even someone like Adele, who I saw her perform at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and she just stands there alone on the stage and commands the entire arena. And Barbara's done the same, in Celine, with just their voice. There's no huge performances behind them, and that's really inspiring to me, and that's what I hope to do.
Well, it's quite a few brave things. One is to stand up on stage in the first place and sing, which is what you do routinely. You're singing tonight. Another is to sing very personal things. Sing about, have a song that you're putting out in this album, and there are many that are very personal to you.
I mean, as a songwriter, for me, I'm very personal with my life, and I try to keep things as private as I can. But when it comes to my music, that's really my opportunity to open up and connect with my fans, and especially with the concerts that I've been doing lately. I take the time to really talk about what the songs mean to me and where I was at when I wrote them. But that's what being a songwriter is about. It's telling stories, and it's also important too that you have to keep in mind when you're writing a song, whether it's about something personally specific, someone should be able to listen to it themselves and have them make it, whatever it needs to become for them. So I try to keep that in mind as well. But I have some great, this album for me is very personal, but I wanted it to be uplifting, and I wanted it to be positive and inspiring. And I feel like I have a lot of young fans that, in a sense, look up to me, and I wanted there to be great messages on there for them that were, positive and happy as well. And there are some breakup songs too. There
are. Yeah. Do you ever find though that when you're talking about the song you're about to sing, does the emotion of it ever slightly overwhelm you?
Oh yeah, well, on my concerts I do a couple songs from Glee. I do a bunch from my first record, I do some from this new record, and then I do a bunch of Glee songs. And it's funny because I find myself like going back to the moments where I sang them in the show, and I do get kind of choked up. But what I did learn on Broadway quite well is how to cry and sing very well at the exact same time.
No, that's a good trick.
So I can manage. I think it's just something that over time I learned how to do quite well.
No.
So
Is it breathing?
I think it might be, but yeah. So if you catch me crying, I'm hoping to still sound well.
Yeah. Has it got a name, Cry Singing? Has it got a...
It's just the Leah Michele, the
It is
Leah
now.
Michele classic.
Yeah, it is now. We've christened
Good luck
it.
with the show tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, lovely to see you. And
Thank
Leah's
you.
new album is called Places.